Good morning, warriors. Welcome to the U Movement. I am B, and I had pulled myself a card, so I kind of cheated a little bit. And then Spirit said, share this card with everyone in a long read, because I was just pulling a card for me, and that turned in. So we already have one card pulled. I'm going to clear the energy here. Clear, 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 clear. Clear the old noggin and do another read, because why not? It's Sunday and it's a great time to do a read. While I'm doing my read, I'm just going to also tell you about my amazing drink here, because if you're a warrior, you need all the best nutrition. So this has replaced my breakfast of warriors, which has been on many videos that I've talked about in food videos, and I'm going to call this guy the Incredible Hulk, because this is my smoothie that I have every single day, and the health benefits that it is assisted me through my spiritual awakening in times where fasting was a huge proponent and I was losing more weight, which I couldn't afford to lose. So this drink, the Incredible Hulk, kept me alive. And what the Incredible Hulk is berries, which is a mixture of berries as well as cranberries thrown in there, because cranberries are particularly good for the kidneys, and the kidneys are flushing things out. So as you're going through a spiritual awakening, you are purging a lot, and not just on the physical, but the emotional and the mental. Purge. There's a lot of purging that goes on. So you want to help facilitate all of the means of clearing the body from toxins, as well as all negative energies, as much as you possibly can. So mixed berries with cranberries. Then I also add Vega 1, all-in-one nutritional protein powder, which is a vegan-based powder for those of you out there that are vegan, because you need your protein. Every single meal, you need protein. If you are trying to lose weight, like myself, who lost half my body weight, and to bring myself back into greater alignment with health and vitality, you want 100% to be having protein with every meal, and that's hard to do if you're a vegan. I don't subscribe to the vegan diet because I believe very strongly in the power of bone broth. But back to our breakfast. So we have our protein powder. We also have coconut butter. Coconut butter is coconut oil that also has the fruit in it, so it's got extra fiber in it, and that is a superfood. We also have in here extra chia, and we have some extra flax seed, and we have some greens powder. And I make my own blend of greens powder, which is a combination of chlorella, spirulina, and moringa powders, all combined together in a canister. And I put in 2 tablespoons of that now. That's where you get all this lovely green from. Last but not least, we have coconut yogurt, a nice thick coconut yogurt for your probiotics. So this has your antioxidants, your probiotics, your immuno boosters, your superfoods, your antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral in the coconut. It's got everything you could possibly need and more. And it tastes delicious. It really does. There's no foul taste to it. Some greens powders have a very grassy flavor. This does not have an overly powering flavor. Protein powder is vanilla flavored, so it's got a lovely flavor. So I'm just doing a shout out to that. Because if you're on this awakening path, food and nutrition, oh, and water. Of course, there's water in there. So let's get started. So the first card that I already pulled from the Starseed Oracle deck is Surrender to the Sweetness. So you see, I wanted to share this with you. So that's why I came on today to do this read, because if we're celebrating some sweetness, I'm going to share that out. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Well, that's very much in alignment with ABLE. B for bliss. If you don't know about the ABLE program, please check out the ABLE playlist and get yourself acquainted with that, because that was the primary tool that I used to help transform my life and get me from where I was to where I am now, and I'm still utilizing on a daily basis to get me to where I want to be. So on this card here, we can see a lovely couple, divine masculine, divine feminine, in a beautiful cenote type of place, protected and shielded from the ocean. You can see that there's an area that brings you out. So they're not trapped. There's no feeling of trapped in here, but there is a feeling of imbalance, perhaps, because the divine feminine is standing tall in her power, whereas the divine masculine energy is still in the water, still in the deeps, still in the feels. Water representing our emotions, that energy of being, hey, I'm trying to get myself out of this situation, and I'm up for air, but I'm not fully out of this watery energy yet. So if you're feeling a disconnect, if you happen to be on a twin flame journey, this could be why, because we've got a differing energy. She has ascended and she is standing tall and she's looking back over, kind of over her shoulder a little bit-ish, saying, hey, how you doing over there? You doing okay? Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing okay. He's up, he's out, his shoulders are out, he's got himself resting on this kind of weird little lily pad thing, which says he is coming to safety. He's also surrounded by some pink energy around him, which is all about unconditional love. So he's feeling some of the love. He's staring, he's looking at his divine counterpart, and he's saying, yeah, you're all right. I kind of like this. I've got a good vibe going. And we've got a beautiful energy of turquoise waters in here. And turquoise, being throat chakra, is all about authenticity and truth and communication. So perhaps communication is not far off in regards to, even though there may be a divide and a distance and not coming from exactly the same place, a little bit of like, hey, what's up? Oh, this or that might be coming in. So this is a really positive message to those that are waiting and wondering what's happening. I would like to know the answers to what's happening. What's happening is we're ascending into more pleasure and more joy. And I would like that, we're pulling ourselves up out of the watery depths of the energy and getting ourselves into alignment. And when I talk about divine feminine and divine masculine, those are within us, it's energies within us. So if your own divine masculine energy is out of balance, you may not be fully stepped into your complete power yet, where the divine feminine is like, I'm up, I'm healed, I'm ready to go, I'm resting, I'm at peace, what will come, and knowing the next part is the masculine energy going, okay, I can make this action step, I can make a move forward. So that's a beautiful card. So I wanted to share that with you all. Next up, we're going to hop into the Divine Animals Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. I'm kind of laughing to myself a little bit because recently, here we go. Recently, I keep seeing the name Stacey absolutely everywhere. And if you don't know, that is my legal name. That's what I was born on my birth certificate, on my documentation. I don't use that name anymore. I don't resonate with that name anymore. As I went through my spiritual awakening, I could no longer resonate with that identity because that identity collapsed and crumbled away, one thing after another, through the process of ego death. And the things that used to be my story or be my identity were no longer something that I wanted to resonate with and something that I could even resonate with. And so maybe some of you who have been following me from the beginning know I went through a process of shifting into B. And that's who I am now. B. I just want to be in a state of being and not attach myself with any of the stories, any of the history of what was not a very good life for that poor woman. But I send compassion out to her and all that she endured. And it's funny that I keep seeing the name absolutely everywhere as of late. And so, okay, this is funny. Our card up next is Polar Bear, which is ancestors. In just talking about identity, we've reincarnation so many times over that our ancestral knowledge, our ancestral truth, our remembrance of who we really are is so much greater than that little individual story that we tell ourselves in regards to the family that you were born into. So the familial name is a label that you affix to yourself. The country in which you were born into is another label that you affix upon yourself. Your first name might have an identity that you affix upon yourself. Some people associate certain names as being, I don't know, average, or certain names as having special meaning associated with them. If you perhaps maybe have a biblical name, or perhaps you have your grandfather's or grandmother's name that was passed down to you, and now that's the name that you own, but it comes with all these strings and history into where it came from. So our history, our labels, everything that we choose to associate ourselves with, our religion, our culture, our skin tone, all of these things are limitations into what we truly are, who we truly are. Who we truly are is much bigger, and from a soul perspective, with many lifetimes behind us, with not just in this gender, not just in this circumstance of life, it is ever extending. And so what this card is talking about, to me, putting on ice. It's a very cold scene behind. You have a gentleman who's ready, and something's coming at him in a state of preparedness. What's standing behind him is the truth. It's like in ice, this polar bear energy that's big and vast behind it. So you may feel isolated and alone and maybe cold and going through difficult times, like you're preparing for war, but understand that who you are is bigger, and all your ancestors, your spirit guides, all your connections to something is so much bigger than the limited perspective that we place upon ourselves. You have greater power accessible to you. You have greater knowledge accessible to you. You have greater awareness accessible to you. And the best way to do that is to go within. We have this lovely little igloo here. There's the dark little doorway. You go into that little igloo, which is you. You go into you and sit in meditation, or even better, go walking in meditation. I firmly believe that movement meditation is almost superior form of meditation, especially if you happen to be neurodivergent or on the spectrum, ADD, any of those types of things. If you're out and you're walking and you get yourself into perfect alignment as you're out doing a movement meditation, which means you're mindfulness of your body. My feet are pointing forward. My knees are on top of my feet. I'm getting a good bend in my knees. I'm moving my hips. My hips aren't like, my butt's not sticking out. My abdominals are you're so focused on your posture that you become a mindful meditation. And so that is what aligned walking is. And I highly recommend that the more you get into yourself, see, you're focusing inward, where is my body, where are my muscles, where is my chest, where are my shoulders? You're focusing inward, and the more you focus inward, the more you're going to be able to tap into the energies of your ancestors and get the messages. Keep yourself open, hearing the messages that you need to hear, and those can come in any number of ways. Claircognizance, which is just I know things, to clairauditory, which is I hear things, which is clairvoyance, which is I see things. And when you say see things, you may see things in your mind's eye. That's one thing that I do. It's like little mini movies that play off, and I just get aha moments or little scripts. Clairsentience, which might be getting information and knowledge through your physical form, your body. If you're an empath, you may pick up on other people's illnesses. And in your body, if you're feeling ill or discomfort around certain people, whenever I'm with that person, man, I get a headache. Why is that? Maybe you want to limit how much you're around that person, or do some clearing routines. Cleansing with salt water. Cleanse with salt water in a bath to purify, to clear, if you're picking up on energies that are coming at you that are less than pleasant. But you've got this. This is what this card is talking about, is like, you've got this. You're not just this little guy on your own. You are protected, and you are surrounded by a whole history that goes far beyond the limited scope of what you once thought you were. And I once thought I was a person named Stacy, and now I am not. Now I am bigger than that, and I needed a bigger name to go with it. So I picked Bumblebee. Hey, there's reasons for that too. So we've got two beautiful cards up for fun, because I like to have some fun, and it tells us to have fun. And our first card is pleasure and joy. This is actually kids' deck, and I don't care. I'm going to use it anyways. This is the Harry Potter spell deck. I thought it'd be a little bit fun to pull from this, because I've been getting a lot of messages of magic lately. Magic seems to be a theme that keeps popping up. So let's see what Harry Potter has to say to us. Okay. We've got 3. Okay, well, I'm going to take them all. Why not? Got Ricta Sampra, which is overcomes the target with severe tickling sensation. So Harry Potter casts a spell while facing off against Draco Malfoy in Hogwarts dueling club. We might have some irritations coming at us that are like slightly tickling our senses at the moment, and our spidey senses going off, going, yeah, okay, it's a little bit of a withdrawal from that. Next up, we have Avada. Sorry, my spell casting words are not great. We've got Avada Kedavra. Avada Kedavra. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that to any of the Harry Potter people. Causes the instantaneous and painless death of the target, known as the Killing Curse. Oh dear. One of the 3 unforgivable curses Lord... Oh, we can't say his name. The one that cannot be said says, cast the spell many times throughout the films, even using it to kill Harry Potter in the Forbidden Forest. And kill in... This is saying that on those situations that are coming in that might be like tickling us and saying, not liking this, we have the capacity to turn it around and shut that down. Shut it down. You shall not enter. No access denied. Not going to take any more of this nonsense. If somebody's coming at you with a lot of nonsense and a lot of narcissistic communication, that's a hot topic at the moment. And if you don't know a lot about narcissistic communication, let me know and let's do some videos about that, because I have already done a few on gaslighting and a few other ones, but maybe knowing if that would be in the narcissistic playlist. Go check that out. So we've got some narcissistic energies coming in, and this is saying shut it down, kill it, no contact, isolate, do what you need to do to protect yourself, because being safe physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually are all equally important. If you're not safe, but you're thinking, well, it's not like I'm getting hit, but are you not getting hit emotionally, mentally? Are you taking hits? Are you taking hits? If you're taking hits, then you need to shut that down. And last up, we have Imperio. Imperio places the target completely under the caster's control. During his defense against the dark arts class, Professor Alistair Moody teaches his students the Imperious Curse, which he demonstrates by controlling a pet spider. Okay, so what this is telling me is to control your situation around you, you might perhaps need to use, if darkness is coming at you. Now, I personally don't like spiders. Spiders would be one of my shadow totems. And okay, shadow totem. What is a shadow totem? Everybody has a totem. And you have a totem is an animal that keeps showing up into your life routinely throughout your life. In one of the last videos, I talked about the heron. The heron has been in my life since I was a young child and has followed me everywhere I've gone in every country that I've lived in. And I've lived in multiple countries and I've seen them everywhere. So when I lived in Japan, I would see herons. They were white herons there, but I would see herons, the white egrets. And then when I moved to Ireland, I lived in Ireland for 10 years and there was always a heron down there by the river that I would walk by, and it was my little companion. And then when I moved to where I live now, which is in Canada, the sign that I have, the town that I live in, has got a heron on it. And I was like, I guess I'm home, because there's a heron on the sign. And so herons are particularly important in my life. So I would ask you, what animal has been a particular influence in your life? Next, I'm going to ask you, what animal has a particular influence in your life, but you don't like it? It's not like you're running out and buying lots of little figurines and this, that, and the other. You're doing the opposite. You're avoiding it. For me, that would have been spiders. Spiders are all representation of creativity and stepping into your fullness of what you have the capacity to create. And I am a very creative person, and I'm constantly downloading and creating and painting and writing and drawing, and I consider myself to be a little bit of a MacGyver, and I'm constantly creating solutions to problems because that's what I do. Now that's all spirit energy of the spider. And utilizing that shadow element, even though it's something that when I was younger I would have like, no, I don't like these spiders. So what this is telling me is to control your own shadow as well as your own light. You need to be in an energy to control the shadowy sides of selves so you can best deal with anybody that's coming at you in an energy. You don't want to get into a situation of reactionary abuse. Now, what is reactionary abuse? So we have our negative person coming at us, giving us, whether they be an energy vampire, an energy louse, or an energy leech, any of those types of narcissistic vibes where you feel drained or depleted or icky after an energy with them. And so they're throwing out shade at you and you're like, no, I'm not going to take that. I'm saying no, I'm putting my foot down, but I'm doing it in a place of balance. I'm coming from a place where I'm going to control my own shadow. You're not going to get the better of me, because if you try to get the better of me, then I lose. So when you can control your shadow elements and not respond in a place of, well, who are you? Why would you say that? I don't like that. What are you doing? Like when you lose your cool and and lose the shit, basically, they win. They feed off of that energy. They feed off of your anger. They feed off of your emotions. They feed off of all of those things. So the best thing to do, the message is for any difficulties that you're dealing with, is to control your own shadow. And one tool or technique that you can use to do that is graystoning. If you can't go no contact with this person, which is what I would recommend, go in a state of graystoning. And that just means become very boring person. Just answer short, concise sentences. No, that won't work for me. Basically, you're becoming as boring as humanly possible, because it's if somebody is feeding off of your emotions, you don't want to provide them with an 8-course meal. You want to keep your energy reserved for yourself, keep it controlled so you can use it. There's nothing wrong with shadow, but shadow out of control or shadow repressed has problems, because it's like beach balls being held underneath the ocean, and eventually they're going to pop up at inopportune times. But when you can utilize your shadow and make peace with your shadow and say, okay, I am feeling negative situation here. I am going to sit with this energy. I'm going to contemplate it, and I'm going to respond after I've had time to process. And one of my favorite things to do by way of a spell, here, nice little crystal quartz, is this one phrase. So I'm going to teach you my own spell. I'm processing. I'm sorry, I can't continue this conversation right now. I'm processing. And that buys you time. It's the I'm processing spell that buys you time. And anybody has the right to take a step back and process. So I'm processing, I'll get back to you tomorrow. I'll get back to you next week. I'll get back to you, and then even next week. I've sat with it for a week. I'm still processing. I'll get back to you when I can. So first step is I'm processing, communicate that. Second step is I'll get back to you as soon as I can, or give them a date. And if they never get back to you, or you never get back to them, there may be a reason for that. So there's some fun cards from Harry Potter with some interesting insight for us. And next up, we're going to go into, the Archeo, which is a very large deck for my hands. Understanding and developing your archetypes. So I don't know if you know a lot about archetypes. They're fascinating things to know a lot about. So this is Jungian theory. Carl Jung, or Jung, he understands that we are more than just our one identity. Okay, we have many sub-identities kind of built in, and those are our archetypical influences around. If you want to know more about archetypes, it's certainly something that I can do a video about. Please leave a comment below if that's something that you're wanting to jump into. It's something that I am personally insanely passionate about. So we have the Falcon. Oh, beautiful imagery up here. So anytime we have any kind of birds, we're connecting to the spiritual realm. We're connecting to higher perspective. This bird isn't in flight, but is preparing. All around you can see the energies of a map and location, passport stamp, even east, west. Which way are you going? Where are you going? Maybe this is a time to sit and recalibrate the direction that you want to take your life. And if the direction that you want to take your life is not the direction that you're currently working in, this is when we use our compass, our central compass, which is our heart space, to realign and navigate ourselves. Okay, is my heart in alignment with what I truly want? Is my actions in alignment with my heart? Is my thinking in alignment with my heart? So sitting in your heart space, doing a heart space, heart-focused meditation to bring yourself back into, okay, where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? Where do I want to go? Source, where are you trying to lead me? Perhaps you need to sit back and wait for like a little bit of guidance, a little bit of direction to come in from higher source so that you know which way to go. Maybe you're feeling a sense of restlessness and knowing that something's coming, but you don't know exactly what or where. So this is, our Falcon here is sitting and waiting. They're sitting and waiting for direction. Whichever direction that they're going to go is going to be a good one, because it's going to be soul-led, as opposed to trying to lead yourself and direct yourself through a state of ego and just flying aimlessly around. We want to hit the mark. And hopefully the mark is some nice islands. We've got some islands happening here. Wouldn't it be nice to go to the islands and maybe have some joy and pleasure in a cenote? That would be very pleasant. I love Mexico, my favorite place on earth. But really, anywhere down in the Caribbean would be lovely. So I know a couple of people that have managed to get away and escape for some trips lately, and I hope they're having the time of their life, because they deserve it. Next up, we have the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. Another passion of mine is the chakra system, and if you don't know about the chakra system, I have a chakra playlist. Just go up into the playlists and hit on chakras, and there's a whole bunch of videos there on that. Very long videos, very in-depth. I will be doing more videos as we move along on the chakra system, because it is so vitally important for giving us the information that we need. So we have two cards up. We have card 49, and I'll just go back in time and let you know, for those that love their numbers, that the polar bear was number 26, and have up 32 as well. So 49, interconnection, expansion, oneness, and light, divine consciousness. Well, this is an absolutely beautiful card. and all about the crown chakra and connecting to source energy so that we can receive all this beautiful violet white energies coming through to like give us all our cognitive hits, our knowings, all the six senses that we need to pull from higher source so that we are in a higher consciousness. And so divine consciousness is something that's happening to all of us that are on this spiritual awakening path. Not everybody is on the same wave or at the same time. And so because of that, there may be a lot of this disconnection with certain individuals, and different energies no longer resonate, because as you level up, you're not going to level up at the same time as somebody else. And so you may not be in resonance with them anymore. And so what the message is from divine source is let go. This is teaching us to let go of attachments, let go of old limiting beliefs about self, let go of old paradigms that are no longer functioning for you, so that we can get into a state where we're surrendering to the sweetness of life. You want to be in an energy, and as much as I don't like the expression high vibes only, the more you cultivate a practice of saying, I'm boundarying up. Look, they've got lots of boundaries around them, these divine feminine and masculine energy. I'm boundarying up. I'm not accepting this type of treatment anymore. This discomfort that feels not good is something that I'm going to recognize, and I'm triggered by it. So that shadow element of I'm triggered by this situation, and so I'm going to sit and contemplate the direction that I want to take my life, because I don't think that you and I are on the same wave. And, that same wavelength, you know what I mean? So you could look at it from two different perspectives. You could look at it like you're surfing and you're both on the same ocean wave, and you're like, woo, we're surfing together, we're having such a great time. Or you can look at it like somebody has to wait their turn and wait for their next wave to come. And so maybe their wave will come in the next 5 years, 10 years. But in the meantime, are you going to stop surfing because their wave hasn't come? No, you're going to continue surfing and having a good time, and they'll meet up with you maybe later on in the way. The other way of looking at it is wavelength frequency of wavelengths and resonance. If something is out of resonance, then it's going to push further and further apart. It's not going to vibrate in a complementary way. It would be an out of tone symphony that is too disturbing for your ears, and nobody's going to want to listen to. Nobody wants to go to see a symphony that's all the instruments aren't in tune. You need to have all your instruments in tune so that you can create this energy of oneness, of a divine orchestra of everybody working together to complement each other. And so that may mean going it alone for a period of time. That may mean learning unconditional love for self and reprogramming self, this pink energy coming in. This may mean surrendering, surrender to some more, surrendering to higher source. Let higher source guide you in the direction that you want to go. Next up, we have 32, which is vocalization, individuality, inner voice, assertiveness. So self-expression, woohoo. All about the throat chakra here. We've got this beautiful light blue, this swallow, I believe, is singing its little heart's content. You can see these reverberations of energy, sound waves coming out from this swallow that's saying, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is my authentic self, like it or leave it, I don't care. Utilizing and vocalizing. So communication, again, this is a card of communication and self-expression. This is your time to speak. Speak up for what it is that you believe. Speak up for your boundaries. Speak up for your truth. Speak up for your history, your memories. Speak up for the things that aren't working for you anymore. Using your voice as the spellcaster. Our voice casts spells by what we say and what we think. Those spelling. That's why words are called spelling, because we're making spells. Make your spells consciously. Be consciously aware of what it is that you're saying, and ask yourself, is what I'm saying in my truth and in alignment with source? Or am I speaking from a place of old paradigms and old thinkings of who I once was and who I no longer am. Where are you speaking from? Or are you not speaking? And if you're not speaking and you need some help on helping clear your throat chakra, that is something that I have noticed in the collective, is the energy that a lot of people are working on right now. Even I am working on throat chakra, as I still have this chronic tooth pain, but I have new leads I'm very excited about, and I have a new medical mystery practitioner that I've got an appointment with this week. So I'm very hopeful that maybe something can help heal this throat chakra. But if you need help to heal the throat chakra and heal, please go to the chakra playlist and find the throat chakra video. It's about an hour and a half in length, and the last half hour roughly is all about healing modalities to increase or boost or balance your throat chakra. Go check that out. I will also place a link to that at the end of this video. Next up, we have that one wanted to come out, so we're going to take it. Belladonna. That's funny. This is the language of flowers, oracle language. See, even the flowers are speaking to us today. So it's a lot about speaking is coming to the surface. We have Belladonna, which is silence. Listen more and quiet be. Okay, so we got a balance. So this is what this is telling me here. We've got self-expression, and then we have silence. So this is really, I'm hearing that song, you gotta know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away. Sorry, I'm out of tune. Oh, see, out of tune. That's not good. Knowing when to use your voice and when to use silence, and perhaps silence while I'm trying to sing old songs is what you want me to do. Knowing when to stay silent, and that again comes back to what I was talking about here. Sometimes saying too much can be the wrong thing because your words and your emotions can be used against you. So knowing who you're talking to and when to use words and when not to use words is a life skill. It's a very important life skill because saying too much can bring you into a place of that reactionary abuse. I mentioned that phrase before, but I don't think I explained it, wherein somebody triggers you and triggers you and triggers you until you explode, and then they go, see, look, they're crazy. You're crazy. Look, you're out of control. Because you've been prodded and prodded and prodded. Nobody looks at the prodding and the initial reason why you exploded. They just see the explosion, and then they use that as justification, as a means to make you feel like you're the one that's got the problem. You're the problem. And so silence is coming out as a reminder to say, okay, wait a second here. Standing in your truth doesn't mean that you need to justify and explain away things way beyond the scope of keeping yourself safe. There are times when the best approach is no approach. And there is also times where the best approach is coming forth in truth and authenticity. For example, if somebody's coming at you, raging at you, and I've had this experience in my life, and you've tried countless times to can we talk about this? Can we have a discussion about this? And it never gets you anywhere. Coming out with a very sharp, you don't get to talk to me like this anymore. Boom, bam, boundary down. One sentence. And then the rest is silence. You don't need to further explain why somebody doesn't need to get to talk to you like that anymore. Once you set a boundary, that boundary is done. You don't need an essay to justify your boundary. Your boundary has been put up. That's a no. So some communication strife might be happening with certain individuals that we have seen, some narcissistic vibes going down where you're no longer resonating with certain people. Balancing that and always being and maintaining alignment with source. So taking a time out, remember, we can take the time outs through, I'm processing right now. That's your ability to take a time out. So that the ultimate goal is we want to get more into our own authenticity and our own assertiveness. To assert yourself. Short, sweet, concise sentences. And last but not least, I'm going to pull one from my silly little deck called My Little Bag of Sweary Affirmations, which is the world's smallest deck, but let's give it a go. And here we go. Positive vibes only. Fuck negativity. Well, although positive vibes only, it comes with a little bit of a warning, because that doesn't mean anything to do with spiritually bypassing genuine emotion, okay? Spiritual positive vibes only comes back to we're no longer accepting, we're no longer receiving, we're no longer going to tolerate abusive interactions. Okay, it doesn't mean that we ourselves are only going to allow ourselves to pretend to be happy. No, that's not balanced, that's not healthy, and that's not natural. To cultivate bliss means going into the dark, mucky stuff to express and heal and look at our triggers and use our triggers as means of greater self-awareness, greater self-discovery, greater peace. But positive vibes only in association with this is talking about no more abuse. As an empath, and I'm sure that you are, as an empath, you have probably tolerated way too much bullshit in your life, and learning to create healthy boundaries. We've got the root chakra in behind here, which is all about safety, security, and grounding ourselves into a place of stability so that we can stand our ground like this dude here. I'm standing my ground, and no, I am saying no. Learning the power to say no. I'm going to add a thing at the end of this video about how to say no, in case you don't know how to say no. If no has been a problem in your life, and creating boundaries has been a problem in your life, and being safe and secure has not been something that has been just provided to you because you're constantly being told and rubbed up the wrong way. We go back to this one here. Somebody's constantly throwing stuff at you, shade at you, and negativity at you, maybe devaluing you, minimizing you, gaslighting you, any of these types of communication techniques. We need to say, fuck this. No. No is a complete sentence. I had to learn to do this. It's a very hard thing to learn to do. Years and years and years, I tolerated things that I should never have tolerated. And through my awakening path, I have been able to cultivate more of my own throat chakra, more of my own truth and authenticity, and learn to say, no, you won't speak to me like that anymore. That type of behavior isn't acceptable anymore. No. No. And then, no need to explain it. Zero needs to explain why no is no. So that's a good way to end today's read. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if there's any particular topics, any particular questions, any particular themes that you would like more information on, so that I know what it is that you're wanting some more videos on. If there's particular topics that are of more interest to you, like narcissism or trauma or chakras or inner child work or shadow work or spiritual awakenings, twin flame journey, let me know. Drop me a line in the comments below if you have anything that you would like to have answered or more information on. And it will give me an opportunity to present something for you specifically. And that said, thank you very, very, very much. I am so appreciative of all the likes, the shares, the subscriptions. I'm, as of this morning, 147 away from reaching my target of 1,000. Woot, woot, I can almost taste it. I am so excited about that. Every single hour that you guys spend watching my videos helps bring me up to my second goal, which is 4,000 view hours. I'm more than halfway there for that, and it's exciting. It is so exciting what is happening with the You movement. I can't even begin to tell you how incredibly grateful I am that you guys have supported me on this journey, and all the comments They seriously, and the gifts that have been sent, some of these decks were sent to me by people, the donations that are being made, all of this, the bookings, those that want to have an appointment with me, to book for an oracle read, to book for a one-on-one hour Zoom call. The way to do that is in the description below. I'm working by donation only so that I can make sure that anybody who's in need and in suffering has access to something that is out of people's hands the majority of time. So if you want to book something, please let me know. I also do distance healings now that I can arrange with you. If that's something that you think that you might like to do, is a distance healing, set up a distance healing with me. And I connect into your energy, get a lot of downloads and get a lot of information and help clear the energy there. I've been doing my own self-healings for 3 solid years now through this awakening path, and you can see I've healed a lot of stuff. If you don't know what I've healed, please feel free to check out a lot of my videos, but just a rough recap, that is, I lost over 135 pounds. I cured my diabetes, fibromyalgia, sleep apnea, peripheral neuralgia. Haven't healed this yet, that's still a work in progress, but I am confident I'll heal that too. Healed brain fog, healed memory loss. I did fail an Alzheimer's test, healed depression, healed anxiety, still working on some post-traumatic stress disorder and regulating the nervous system. I'm a work in progress too. There is no end to the healing journey. It just continues and continues and continues. The death certificate is your graduation diploma. So until I die, I'm still going to be healing and healing and healing and healing and healing. All of those things plus more. And if I can assist you on your healing path, that is what I want to do. I don't want to see people suffering in silence. Don't suffer in silence. Silence is a tool, but don't suffer there. Use your voice, communicate to me, reach out. That said, peace out.